Good morning, student. I Purnima welcome you to my class, and we are going to continue the topic which I was teaching you in my last video class, The Legend of the Northland. It is a poem written by the poetess Phoebe Cary. So, as I told you, this is a traditional story, and children, this is regarded as historical but not authentical. It is not authenticated. It is about an old woman who was cursed for her greed and her indifference to charity and generosity, and she was turned to a woodpecker by Saint Peter. The main idea of writing this legend is to instill in the minds of the children the value of kindness, generosity, and charity should be there in one's life. Okay, otherwise life will not have any meaning. We should learn how to be kind to other, we should learn how to help other, how the values of children charity should be learned by the children. So this poem teaches these things. Now I told you in a nutshell, I'm going to tell you the main important points of the poem, and then we will continue with our poem. So in Northland there lived a little woman in a cottage. She was baking delicious cakes. In the evening, Saint Peter, during her journey, children, he used to visit the world as he was the messenger of the God to preach the lesson to the people here. He was very tired and hungry as he had been preaching and had not eaten any food. He asked her for a piece of cake. She was an ungenerous and close fisted woman. She therefore tried to bake a small cake. And she doesn't want to give, she bakes so many cakes, but she doesn't want to give those cakes because she had this thing in mind that these cakes are too large to be given away, and she can get a lot of money if she will sell this cake in the market. So each time she baked a cake, she felt the cake was too large to give away. Finally, she tried to bake a paper thin cake, which also turned big in her estimation. She began to wonder how the cake that were meant for others seemed big to her, and those that were meant for her to eat seemed very small. The final cake was also put on the shelf. She refused to part with the cake. This angered the saint, who was hungry and faint. He told her that she did not deserve to be a human being, nor did she deserve to live in a house and have a fire to keep her warmth. He cursed her and said henceforth she would have to build her own house and would have to bore holes in hard dry woods to acquire the scanty food that a bird requires to survive. All of a sudden, a woodpecker flew off from the top of the house. The little woman was turned to a woodpecker, noticed by every schoolboy as she keeps pecking at the wood in search of food. So that little woman who was very greedy, she was turned to a woodpecker by Saint Peter, and now I would be explaining you the poem. Now children, please open your book, and we are here at, we were doing in the last class Stranger 3. So I will, we have done Stranger 3, but I will start once again with Stranger 3. Okay, so first let me read the poem for you. They tell them a curious story. I don't believe it is true, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. So the poet continues to give a description of the people of Northland. She says, when the snow falls, the people like sledging, so they rain the reindeer to the sledge, and the little children wear heavy woolen clothes that make them look like little bear cubs. So she is telling that I'm going to tell you the story which I don't think is a true, but then this story has a nice, it conveys a very nice message to the children, and children will learn a lot of things here. Okay, so the poet informs how the elders tell their children a strange and curious story although the poetess herself doesn't believe to this story. When she heard when she was a child, she feel she should narrate this story none or less as it had a good message for us. So that's why she is going to narrate this story, because she herself feels that this story has a good message. Though she don't believe that this story is authentic, this story is true. Now stanza 4. Once when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below and walked about it preaching just as he did, So she started to begin to tell the story, and she told that once upon a time Saint Peter was roaming, wandering in the earth as he has to pass some messages of God. Now let me tell you children, it is believed that Saint Peter is a children, he is a messenger of God. He travels on earth basically children, he goes to the coldest place in the Northland, and here he preached. So children, this is the story. Children, this is the beginning of the story. When once Saint Peter, he came to the Northland, to the people who were living there, to preach the words of God. He came to the door of a cottage and traveling round the eartham, where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on the hearth. Now children, so here preaching means children giving sermons. Okay, so hearth is a fireplace. Hearth here means hearth here is a fireplace. Okay, and tale is a story. Is the messenger of God, or you can also tell, or okay, so we were doing stanza 4, and Saint Peter, who was the apostle of Christ. Okay, he was once when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below, he was living below the earth. He walked about on the earth preaching. Preaching means he started teaching and giving the message of God just as he did, and this was not a very new thing for everybody. Most generally Saint Peter used to come and he used to give messages to the people on earth. He came to the door of a cottage in traveling round the earth. Now children, when he was traveling round the earth in the Northland, he came near the cottage and he came into the front portion of that cottage near the door. And there a little woman was baking a cake and baking them on the hearth. And she was baking those cake on the hearth. Hearth is a fireplace. So, while preaching the words of God round the world, he reached the door of the little woman who was baking cakes on a hearth. Stanza 6. And being faint with fasting, for the day was almost done, he asked her from a store of cakes to give him a single one. Now children, when Saint Peter reached to her house, to her cottage, he was about to faint. He was very hungry, he was very tired, so he was about to faint, and he told that woman that he asked her that from her store of cake she may give her some cake to eat, as he is very hungry and tired. So the poet says that the condition of Saint Peter when he came to the little woman's cottage was very bad. His body was pale and tired, and he was hungry too after a long day. He stopped to ask for a piece of cake from the ones she had already baked and kept on the shelf. Okay, now seventh, stanza 7. So she made a very little cake, but as it baking lay, she looked at it and thought it seemed too large to give away. So she made a very little cake. Now, children, when St. Peter asked, she thought that she is having a very large cake in her house, so she did not want to give those cakes to St. Peter because she felt that she can earn a lot of money by selling those cakes. So what she started doing, she started baking a very little cake, but as it baking lay, she looked at it and thought it seemed too large to give away. Now, when she baked a very small pieces of cake, she started looking at them, and children, before giving it away, she stopped to think whether it was too big to give away for free. Now, children, when she was going to give those cake to him, she started thinking that these cakes are still too big to give to Saint Peter for eating. She wanted, then she decided she would make a bit smaller cake. Stranger 8. Therefore she needed one another and still a smaller one, but it looked when she turned it over as large as the first one. Okay. Needed is molding the dough. Okay, so children, again she decided she would bake a bit smaller cake and she would give to Saint Peter to eat. So once again she started kneading the flour and the maida, and she started baking a little smaller cake, but it looked when she turned it over as large as the first one had done. And when she started to make a smaller cake and smaller cake, but each time she felt it was as big as the earlier one, and she could not give that cake to Saint Peter. Now Saint Peter was very angry, he was getting angry, he was feeling tired also. Okay, and children, he started what to say, he was losing his patience, but he could not say anything to her. He was thinking very soon she is going to bring the cake. Then she took a tiny scrap of dough and rolled it flat and baked it thin as wafer, but she could not part with it. So here Saint Peter is waiting, and now we are here in stanza 2. Okay. Then she took a tiny scrap of dough, and tiny scrap is very small piece. So children, what happened? She started making a very small piece of cake. Okay, dough is cake mixture here, and rolled it repeated to show that it was very thin. Wafer is thin slice. Okay, so children, she took a very small piece of dough. Dough is a mixture of cake here. Okay, and rolled. She started rolling again and made it very thin like a wafer. Okay, but she could not part with that. And children, finally she made a very thin cake from an extremely small lump of dough. However, even this she could not bear to give away for free. when she looked at it, she still thought that this is too large to be given away. Now, 10th, stranger 10th. For she said, my cake set seems too small. When I eat out of them myself, are yet too large to give away. So she put them on the shelf. So what happened? Shelf means place of storage. So children, again when she looked at that thin piece of wafer, she started thinking again that she could not part with that cake. Okay, and when she made it for her consumption, she it seemed too big, but now she don't want to give him because she feel that again this wafer is too big to be given away. Okay, as a result, she ended up keeping all the baked cake on the shelf and leaving St. Peter hungry and faint as ever before. So what happened, children? She did not give that cake to St. Peter to eat. She kept that cake on the shelf, and here St. Peter was very angry. He was about to faint. Okay. Then the good St. Peter grew angry, for he was hungry and faint, and surely such a woman was enough to provoke a saint. So the stranger describes St. Peter's reaction to the woman. He gets angry, and as he was hungry and weak, it is difficult to anger a saint, but succeeded in doing so by her inhuman behavior. So children, the saint, poor Saint Peter, he grew very hungry, and as the time passed he was very angry also, and finally he was about to faint also because he was so hungry, and surely such a woman was enough to provoke a saint. Provoke means cause anger. Cause anger. So children, she started making, the saint was very angry with her. Okay, and he gets so angry that he was so weak and hungry that children, it is difficult to anger a saint, but she succeed in doing so by her inhuman behavior. Generally the saint never get angry, but she had shown such a inhuman behavior that the saint became very angry. Now 12. And he said, you are far too selfish to delve in human form, to have both food and shelter and fire to keep you warm. And he said, you are far too selfish to dwell in human form. So he told, selfish means so children, so he was so angry that he told that woman that you are very selfish lady and you are not going to live in this human form. you are enjoying a very cozy house, a very comfortable house, and a very nice food, so you will be deprived from that. And fire to keep you warm, and you are having a nice house and a nice fire which keeps you warm. So Saint Peter calls her a selfish woman and was not therefore deserving of the comfortable lifestyle that had been granted to human beings, such as a house for shelter, water to keep clean, food to eat, and fire to keep them warm. Okay, so he was angry. He told that you are not fit for these things. Stanza 13. Now you shall build as the birds do, and shall get you scanty food, and boring and boring and boring all day in the hard, dry wood. So children, now boring is making hole. Boring is making holes. Okay, and then children, chimney is shaft to draw away the smoke from a fireplace. Okay, I will be explaining that later. First, let me explain the paragraph. So, now you shall build as the birds do, and shall get you scanty. Scanty is very less food, and boring and boring and boring all day in a hard dry wood. So boring is making hole, and scanty is less. So he cursed her. He was so angry, he was about to faint. She could have told to him that I cannot give you, but she was just telling him that she is going to give him some food. She is going to give him some food. And poor Saint Peter, he was waiting and waiting and waiting. And after long, when she did not give him anything, and he was about to faint, so Saint Peter cursed her, and he told that now you shall build, you shall be turned into a bird, and you shall build as a bird do. Now you will be building your house as the birds they build, and shall get you scanty food. So he cursed her, and he told her that you will change, you are very selfish, okay, and you are not fit to live in a human form, and you are enjoying here both your nice house, cozy house, and shelter, and a nice fire to keep you warm. So now you are going to miss all those things, he told her. Now you shall build as a bird. Now I am going to change you into a bird, and you will find very scanty food, very less food, and boring and boring and boring all day in a hard dry wood. What is the meaning of boring? I've written here, making holes. And you will be making holes in the wood whole day, which will be very tiring, and it will be very difficult, because you have to, with the help of your beak, you have to beat that portion of the wood, and then that will be made form into a hole. So you will be doing very hard work all day in the hard dry woods, and you will be living in the woods. Now wood is a small forest, or the where a lot of trees grow. So Saint Peter told, he cursed the little woman and deprived her of all her comforts. He said that she would have to build her own nest like birds do, and dig holes into the hard woods to get worm or insect to feed herself. Okay, so now she will be not eating her food, she will be feeded by insects and very less food. Now, stanza 14, I am going to read stanza 14. Then up she went through the chimney, never speaking a word, and out of the top flew a woodpecker, for she was changed to a bird. And the moment he told her that cursed Saint Peter to that lady, she was changed into a chimney. She became a bird, and children, she flew through the chimney. What is the meaning of chimney? Shaft to draw away the smoke from a fireplace. And she became, which word she was turned into? She was turned into a woodpecker, which is a bird with a strong bill and a stiff tail, which climbs trees trunk to find insects and drum on dead wood to mark territory. So she was changed into children woodpecker. Okay, and she flew through the chimney, never speaking a word, and out of the top flew a woodpecker, for she was changed to a bird. She had a scarlet cap on her head, and that was left the same, but all the rest of her clothes were burned black as a coal in the flame. Now, children, this is the second last stanza. Okay, now scarlet is a bright red color. Bright red color is known as scarlet. Now, that last one just describe how the woodpecker gets its red cap, how she got red cap on her head. The scarlet cap on her head was left untouched, while the rest of her clothes were burnt to ashes. So when she was flying, children, through the chimney, she touched the ashes of the chimney. So when but the red scarf she was putting, it did not touch with that ashes. So the bird head is still in the same color with the same shade of red, and all her part is having a black mark, something like the marks of ashes. And every country schoolboy has seen her in the wood where she lives. So then the last two standards describe how the woodpecker gets its red cap. The scarlet cap on her head was left untouched, while the rest of her clothes were burnt to ashes. The bird head was still the same shade of red. And every country schoolboy has seen her in the wood where she lives in the tree till this very day, boring and boring for food. The poet said that every countryside boy has seen the woodpecker in the woods, pecking into the bark of the tree, searching for food to eat. Okay, so and every country schoolboy has seen her in the wood where she lives in the trees till this very day, boring and boring for food. So the bird head was still the same shade of red, the whole body. When she was flying away through that chimney, children, it touched the ash. It became ash color because it touched the ash of that chimney. And every country schoolboy, children, the poet says that every countryside boy has seen the woodpecker in the woods, pecking into the bark of a tree, searching for food to eat. Okay, so children, now I'm going to discuss some of the poetic devices. Here we are using simile. Okay, a comparison, the two things are compared, and we use the word like or as here. Okay, like the children look like bear's cub, black as coal. So these are the simile here. Allusion, reference to a historical or literary person or event, St. Peter. So this is an allusion here. Then repetition, boring and boring and boring. 3 times this word is repeated. So this is repetition. Personification, giving human characteristic to inanimated thing. Okay, to give human characteristic to inanimated thing. And like listen to pity's call. Pity is a inanimated thing, but listen to pity call. It is shown here that the pity is calling. Okay. So with this, children, the poem is completed here. And now, children, I think, children, in short, I will be describing the whole poem again. That once St. Peter stopped by a little woman's cottage as he was very tired and hungry, and after a long day of preaching or to humanity, the woman was baking cakes and placing them in the shelf. He requested the lady to give him a single piece of cake. She was not ready to part with any from her stock, as they seemed too big to be given in charity. She therefore started to prepare cakes, but each time she was to give it to him, she thought it was too big. So each time she took smaller balls of dough to bake the cake. Finally, when she prepared a wafer thin cake, She could not bear to part with as that too seemed too big to give for free. This act of woman angered the St. Peter, and in turn he cursed her. She was punished to be woodpecker who would have to struggle to secure food to remain alive. Okay, so children, this is all. And I also told you what is the meaning of legend. Legend is children, first of all, this is not a true story. Okay, and which part of the story you feel the most important? So what I feel, it is a legend, as human cannot be changed to a bird or vice versa. The main person of the story is to teach and children and inculcate in the minds of young reader the value of generosity and charity without any discrimination, and we should tell the youngster to be kind to each other. Okay, then legend is an old traditional story usually with a moral teaching. So what is a legend? So this is also a old story with a moral teaching that we should be very generous, kind and benevolent. The story is a narration for children. The poet in the very onset says that she doesn't believe this tale to be true. This poem is called a legend because it teaches the purpose and value of generosity and charity to all fellow beings. Okay, so children, how Saint Peter punished the lady, he was waiting, how he got angry. So this is the story from the Northland. It is a legend, and many people believe that this is a true story, but the poet feels that the story is not true, it is not authentic. Okay, so with this I completed my poem today, but tomorrow, in tomorrow's video class, we can discuss the question and answer, poetic devices and lot of things. So with this I conclude my video here. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.